Looking at the stats, who are the best and who are the worst playoff quarterbacks of the last 25 years? Let's get the base counting stats out of the way. Obviously, this is going to benefit the players who played the most. Brady, Manning, and Mahomes for completions. It's yards. It is Brady, Manning, and Roethlisberger. Touchdowns. It is Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers. Looking now at completion percentage. Number one, Nick Foles. How about that? At the bottom is Michael Vick. Joe Flacco, the lowest among active quarterbacks. By the way, in order to qualify, you need at least 5 playoff starts. Touchdown percentage, exactly what it sounds like. The percentage of passes that are touchdowns. And number one, Baker Mayfield. How about Ryan Tannehill third? Mark Sanchez is sixth. Who's at the bottom? Steve McNair. Jared Goff is the second worst. How about that? Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. Wow. Very few active or recent quarterbacks are anywhere near the worst interception rate. As you'd expect, Brett Favre is the worst. How about Jimmy Garoppolo, the second worst? But among active quarterbacks, it is Lamar. Who's the best, though? Brock Purdy. Looking at passer rating, barely ahead of Mahomes. Once again, Baker Mayfield. Shout out to Kurt Warner for standing the test of time in his playoff stats, especially considering his 99 playoff run, which was an all-time great playoff run, isn't even included in here. Lowest passer rating, that's Steve McNair. And once again, the lowest among active quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson. Shout out to Jake Delhomme for being tied for fourth in yards per attempt and tied for first with Kurt Warner and Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick. Looking at the lowest is once again Steve McNair. How about Tom Brady being down here? Jared Goff, the lowest among active quarterbacks. Adjusted yards per attempt gives you a boost for touchdown passes and a penalty for interceptions. The only non-active quarterback in the top 8, Kurt Warner. Baker Mayfield going back to first. Who's the lowest, you might be wondering? It is once again Steve McNair among active quarterbacks. Oh my God, I don't even want to post this video. Adjusted net is the same thing, except it also adds a penalty for sacks in there. Kurt Warner, once again, number one. And again, his best playoff run was 1999, not even included in here. Who's the lowest? Steve McNair again. Oh my God, Lamar. Next up, passing success rate. It's basically staying ahead of the chains. That's what the full definition of is it. And look at number one by a good amount, Nick Foles. Who's the worst? Michael Vick and Jalen Hurts. Look at that. The Tom Brady Lifetime Achievement Award of having the most carries, 114 of them. 114 carries, 133 yards. Obviously, playoff rushing yards is dominated by active quarterbacks. Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes are the top 3. I'm sure they're all going to go back and forth for that record over the rest of their careers. Okay, that's a disgusting yards per carry. 51 carries for 507 yards for Colin Kaepernick. That's ridiculous. Taking out the lowest yards per attempt, Nick Foles with 0, 9 carries for 0 yards. Obviously, that includes kneel downs. Peyton Manning, 30 carries for 12 yards. The most rushing touchdowns by a good amount, tush push, Jalen Hurts. Tom Brady is second with 7. Playoff wins, obviously, that's not just a quarterback stat, but Brady is 35-13. Mahomes, it looks like a typo, 17-4. Look how much closer everyone else is to 500 that's near the top. I mean, the second best after that is Eli at 8-4, and that's still nowhere near as good as 17-4.